You didn't want to present on your consent items? Okay, just checking, just checking. Thank you. Mr. Garcia, would you like to go ahead and present? And this is AB 2414. It enjoys the due pass recommendation.
Thank you. We'll be waiving presentation on, I think, 3 or 4 other bills. But good morning, members. AB 2414 is a district bill that will allow the expansion of the existing Desert Healthcare District to include the entire Coachella Valley. The bill will specifically direct the Riverside County Board of Supervisors to file the resolution with LAFCO and initiate a comprehensive review and make recommendations on the new boundaries. There are some governance, thank you. There are some governance changes that we are asking to be included if it's approved by the voters. Madam Chair, I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
There was a motion by Ms. Bonilla, a second by Mr. Wood. Speakers in support? Speakers in opposition? Department of Finance?
No file.
See no questions. Again, it has a due pass recommendation. Thank you. This gets out on a B roll call with Ms. Chang voting aye. Thank you. And I see Ms. Campos. You are presenting on AB 2082, and it enjoys a due pass recommendation.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I present to you AB 2082, a bill that would provide the Department of Alcohol Beverage Control with the authority to suspend a business alcohol license in the case of an emergency that threatens the health and safety of our residents. And if there are any questions, if not, I'm ready to move forward.
We have a motion by Ms. Bonilla, second by Ms. Weber. Any speakers in support? Speakers in opposition? Department of Finance?
No file.
Thank you, Ms. Campos. This gets out on a B roll call with Mr. Gallagher voting aye.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Gallagher.
Dr. Weber, would you like to present? Dr. Weber, I have you presenting on 2 bills, 2590 and 2765, both enjoying due pass recommendations.
Present on 2548, the suspense candidate as well.
Perfect.
Thank you. We will begin with AB 2590, which is the Sentencing Restorative Justice Act. I'm here to present 2590, a bill dealing with restorative justice. Before I begin, I want to clarify that we are amending the bill moving forward to keep sentencing sunset as it is. AB 2590 seeks to instill more restorative justice into our penal justice system, removing the word punishment from the Penal Code Section 1170, Subdivision 1, and changes the purpose of sentencing to public safety, and encourages the Department of Correction and Rehabilitation to provide opportunity for education and rehabilitation to all inmates. The bill has no cost to the state, and part of the analysis reflects the opposition to the previous version of the bill, and I'm continuing to work with the opposition to address their concerns. Here to testify for AB 2590 is Linda Warner from the California Catholic Conference and Jim Lindberg from the Friends Committee on Legislation in California.
Good morning. My name is Linda Warner, California Catholic Conference, and we are a co-sponsor of AB 2590, along with many other faith organizations, including the Friends and faith-based community organizing groups. We know that restorative justice works, and the savings from of having a restorative justice program will allow criminal justice resources to be redirected to healing victims, neighborhoods, and increasing public safety. AB 2590 will provide an avenue for increased partnership between the criminal justice system and local communities to work effectively together for long-term public safety. We respectfully ask for your aye vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair and members. I'm Jim Lindberg from the Friends Committee on Legislation of California. We're a Quaker-based lobby and one of several sponsors of AB 2590. A crime is a disruption in the relations between human beings. The purpose of sanctioning behavior should be to restore right relations and make people whole again to the extent possible. This reduces recidivism, which reduces cost while improving public safety, and victims overwhelmingly report high degrees of satisfaction with restorative justice. At a briefing sponsored by Dr. Weber several weeks ago, Dr. Paul McCold, a retired criminologist, pointed to 16 randomized controlled trials, which found that the evidence on subsequent convictions or arrest over 2 years following random assignment is clear and compelling. The impact on 2-year convictions was cost-effective, with up to 14 times as much benefit as cost and 8 times overall. Simply said, restorative justice works. We have seen where the punishment-only paradigm takes us. We urge an aye vote.
Thank you. Any other supporters?
Ignacio Hernandez on behalf of the California Attorneys for Criminal Justice in support of the bill.
Regular Chair, with the ARC and United Cerebral Palsy California Collaboration, a coalition of people with intellectual and developmental disabilities and their families, friends, and service providers, we believe this is a good bill for both victims with developmental disabilities and perpetrators, and we support it and thank Dr. Weber for her leadership.
Any speakers in opposition?
Good morning, Madam Chair and members. Sean Hoffman with the California District Attorneys Association. Currently opposed unless amended to 2590, mostly on policy grounds. We agree with the author that alternatives and restorative justice principles are appropriate for certain offenders, but we disagree with the notion that we should throw out punishment altogether as a purpose of incarceration. For those reasons, we ask for a no vote.
Any others in opposition? Department of Finance?
No file.
Are there questions from? We had a motion from Mr. Quirk and a second by Ms. Bonilla. Enjoys a due pass recommendation. Dr. Weber?
I simply request your aye vote.
Thank you. That gets out on a B roll call with Ms. Chang not voting.
Okay.
Next.
My next one is AB 2765, which deals with the Proposition 47 petition deadline. Madam Chair and members, AB 2765 eliminates the time period for individuals to petition for resentencing of specified nonviolent felonies pursuant to Prop 47. This bill will allow local government to retain control over the administration and processing of Prop 47 petitions after the sunset date. To not pass this bill would be to strip locals of their ability to manage their caseloads and priorities. By removing the sunset and keeping the process streamlined, taxpayer dollars will be saved through reducing high workload costs and more intensive post-deadline good cause petitions. An extended petition time frame would allow individuals with older records sufficient opportunity to reclassify their convictions, providing them better access to jobs, housing, and other opportunity services that promote success with reintegration into society. We have persons here who will answer questions if necessary, but I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
We have a motion by Mr. Quirk and a second by Mr. Holden. It enjoys a due pass recommendation.
Good morning, Madam Chair and members. I'm Elizabeth Espinosa here this morning on behalf of 3 co-sponsors excuse me, of the bill, specifically the Board of Supervisors in the County of Los Angeles, the District Attorney in San Diego, Bonnie Dumanis, as well as Californians for Safety and Justice. We appreciate the work of Dr. Weber. Thank you for your positive consideration. And if I may, 2 additional supporters of the bill, the County of Santa Cruz and Santa Clara. Thank you very much.
Additional speakers in support?
Hi, Darby Kernan with the California State Association of Counties in Support.
Andrew Langley on behalf of the County of San Diego in support. Thank you.
Ignacio Hernandez on behalf of the California Attorneys for Criminal Justice in support.
Rosanna Carvacho on behalf of the Alameda County Board of Supervisors in support.
Any speakers in opposition? Department of Finance?
No file.
You have a motion and a second. Dr. Weber?
I simply request your aye vote.
That gets out on a B roll call. I believe you're going to also present then on a suspense candidate,
Yes.
AB 2548.
Right. Madam Speaker and members, I'm presenting today on AB 2548, the LCFF and ESSA accountability. I'm here to present this because this is a priority bill for me, a bill dealing with school accountability, which clarifies that California's existing local control funding formula statute, which shaped the implementation of new federal accountability requirements pursuant to every Student Success Act. This bill is a candidate for suspense. California's new multiple measure system of accountability needs to provide greater emphasis on growth, equity, and transparency in ways not currently being considered. AB 2548 will strengthen the efforts in our community and across the state to increase equity and close achievement gaps by creating a new accountability system that would provide parents, community groups, and educators with critical information on the performance of schools and districts and their outcomes for all students. It provides transparent and meaningful comparisons across schools and districts with respect to academic performance, student growth, equity, school climate, and student engagement. And it sets ambitious statewide standards for school performance and expectations for continuous improvement. According to the appropriations analysis, estimated costs are in the hundreds of thousands to comply with the data component of the bill. 2 staff positions at CDE that would be needed to comply with federal accountability efforts irrespective of the bill, and identifies potential cost pressures in the millions if the bill results in more districts or schools being identified in need of assistance. Cost pressure in the millions is highly unlikely because current law identifies districts for assistance if they fail to improve public achievement across more than one state priority for one or more pupil subgroups. With 8 state priorities, 23 indicators, and all subgroups, current law revisits the old No Child Left Behind, in which there are hundreds of ways in which to fail. AB 2448 revises this provision in current law to focus on key indicators, including school climate, student engagement, and student achievement, and thus is more likely to identify fewer districts and schools in need of assistance based on current law. With us today for AB 25 is sponsored by Children Now and Ed Trust West, and is sponsored by 75 education, community, business, civil rights, and equity groups throughout California. I have witnesses here to testify in support of the bill.
Madam Chair and members, Brian Rivas on behalf of the Education Trust West, co-sponsor of the measure. I want to thank you for your staff's analysis. Your staff did a great job on the bill. Just want to highlight this bill is necessary to align the state and federal accountability requirements. And when the bill's on suspense, we would ask that you consider the potential to relieve cost pressure, because we think that actually would reduce the number of local education agencies that would be identified for supports and assistance by reducing that the measures to a smaller number of key indicators.
Brad Strong with Children Now in support.
Additional speakers in support.
Madam Chair and members, Brendan Tuig on behalf of Ed Voice in support.
Laura Parr on behalf of the College Board and Students Matter in support.
Any speakers in opposition? Department of Finance?
No file.
Thank you, Ms. Weber. If you any closing, but this is on suspense.
Yeah. Okay, this is on suspense, but AB 2548, strengthens the foundation for accountability and builds great safeguards to ensure our state meets our constitutional promise to educate every child in California. And I respectfully ask for your consideration in bringing this off suspense. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Cooper, AB 1926. It enjoys a do pass recommendation.
Thank you, Madam Chair and colleagues. I'll keep this short. AB 1926 will help the state registered apprentices continue with their training by ensuring they receive fair compensation when at the request of contractors, they're dispatched to a construction site ready and prepared to work, but are not utilized by the contractor. When an apprentice, respectfully ask for your aye vote.
The bill was moved by Mr. Holden and seconded by Mr. McCarty. Speakers in support?
Engineers. Oh, there it is. Rob Carrion with the Operating Engineers. Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the committee. I'm the Sacramento District Representative for the Operating Engineers and co-sponsor of AB 1926, which is intended to promote the use of apprentices on public works projects and program completion for the next generation of skilled men and women of the construction industry. We believe this bill advances and protects the state's commitment to apprenticeship without enforcement cost, as the DIR's prevailing wage compliance monitoring unit is fully funded by fees paid by contractors choosing to bid on public works projects. For these reasons, we respectfully urge your aye vote. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the committee. Jeremy Smith here on behalf of the State Building and Construction Trades Council. This is about making sure apprentices who are dispatched, asked to come to work, get paid when they show up to work. So we're happy to it enjoys a due pass and urge your support. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Tim Kremens, International Union of Operating Engineers, full support. We view this as a statement of existing law, a clarification of existing law, and did come out of Policy Committee on a bipartisan vote. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Members, Mitch Seaman with California Labor Federation, also in support.
Thank you. Are there any speakers in opposition? Department of Finance?
No file.
Any closing, Mr. Cooper?
I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you. That gets out on a B roll call with Ms. Chang and Mr. Gallagher both voting aye. Thank you. Ms. Burke, I hope you brought your lightsaber. Ms. Burke, you have a few bills here. Which one would you like to start with?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm waiving presentation on my suspense file candidates, and we will work with your staff to address the fiscal concerns over the next few weeks. So we'll start with AB 1954.
This enjoys a due pass as amended to remove references to services other than sexual and reproductive health services. You may start.
Thank you, Madam Chair and members. For many women, reproductive health care is primary care. Nearly 3/4 of women of reproductive age in the nation receive. I respectfully request your aye vote.
You have a motion by Mr. Quirk and a second by Mr. Wood. Speakers in support.
Chair and members, Kathy Mossberg representing the California Family Health Council in strong support. Appreciate your staff's help with this and appreciate the amendments. Thank you.
Madam Chair and members, Dennis Cuevas Romero here on behalf of one of the co-sponsors, the California Latinas for Reproductive Justice. Appreciate your support. Thanks.
Chris Rosa on behalf of BEAR in support.
Any other speakers in support? Speakers in opposition?
Stephanie Watkins on behalf of the Association of California Life and Health Insurance Companies. First, we'd like to thank the author and the sponsor for the amendments taken today. I think there are a couple remaining issues on a policy front that we're trying to work out, dealing with in-network and contracted providers. We look forward to continuing those conversations as the bill moves forward. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, Jennifer Alley with California Association of Health Plans. Also in opposition today, but are in continued dialogue, our dialogue with the author and sponsor to address our concerns. Thank you.
Thank you.
John Winger on behalf of America's Health Insurance Plans would echo the comments of ACLIC and CAP.
Department of Finance?
No file.
Would you like to close, Ms. Burke?
We have worked out some of the technical amendments to narrow the scope of the services available with your staff, as noted in the analysis, and I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Thank you. That gets out on a B roll call with Ms. Chang also voting aye. AB 2288, also enjoying a due pass recommendation.
Assembly Bill 2288 helps encourage women to pursue careers in the building and construction trades and ensures that students in pre-apprenticeship programs are taught essential elements of the different building and construction trades through the multi-craft core curriculum adopted by the California Department of Education. As noted in the committee analysis, the cost of the bill ranges from $117,000 to minor. I respectfully request an aye vote.
We have a motion by Ms. Bonilla, a second by Mr. Wood. Speakers in support.
Madam Chair, members, Cesar Diaz on behalf of the State Building and Construction Trades Council. The MC3 curriculum involves all the building and construction trades. It's the best curriculum for the pre-apprenticeship purpose. This bill ties in all the workforce development pipeline as it relates to building trades programs, but it also requires that they have a plan for recruitment and retention of women for the construction industry. So we respectfully urge your aye vote. Thank you.
Speakers in support.
California Labor Federation, also in support.
Speakers in opposition. Department of Finance.
No file.
I think Mr. Gallagher has a question or comment.
Yeah, well, I think this is a good bill, and I want to be supportive of it. What I did think there was a question raised about the curriculum and mandating there be one curriculum. I know Youth Build, which is another program I'm familiar with, has the flexibility to do different curriculum. including the Home Builders Institute PAC curriculum and National Center for Construction Education and Research. Have you considered allowing different curriculum, and is that something we would look at going forward?
And I can answer. It's really, this is only for a certain line of money, so they can continue their curriculum. This does not stop them from doing that. This is only if they want to draw down a specific fund.
Thank you. I'd also like to point out, having run a youth build program, that the core curriculum allows the youth build apprentices to move into a joint labor management apprenticeship program, and so having that foundation actually puts these kids in a career pathway that they don't otherwise get if they don't have that core curriculum. So I love this bill. I thank you for your presentation.
I respectfully request an aye vote.
And you will get one. A B roll call, that's out on B roll call with an aye from Ms. Chang and Mr. Gallagher. Thank you. Finally, the AB 2337.
Thank you, Madam Chair and members. Nationwide, women lose 8 million days of paid work because of violence inflicted by their partners. In California, the Legal Aid Society Employment Law Center found that 40% of intimate partner violence survivors reported being fired or feared termination due to intimate partner violence. AB 2337 requires employers to inform their employees in writing of their rights guaranteed under existing law.
Move the bill.
I respectfully request an aye vote.
We have a motion by Mr. Quirk and a second by Ms. Bonilla. Is there any speakers in support? Speakers in opposition? Department of Finance?
We have no approved position, but we note minor and absorbable costs.
Thank you. Mr. Obernolte.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Ms. Burke, I'm very supportive of the bill. I have a question, though, about the methods that employers would use to comply with this. So traditionally, when you have a notice requirement, an employer complies by posting the notice in a place where employees gather. And it wasn't clear from my reading of the bill whether or not that would be allowed in this case, or if it would had to be something in writing that was handed to the employee.
And that is because we're continuing to work with the community to find out what the best method of delivery will be to make sure our message is delivered. So we continue to work with people on that.
All right. So what I heard you say is we don't know the answer to that yet, but we're going to. Okay. So I would appreciate it if you could clarify that. And I would suggest that since I'm not aware of many circumstances that require the actual giving of a notice to an employee, I'd like to request that you allow the posting to be done in the same manner as the other postings are done.
And we will continue to, and we're working on what the best delivery is, but what's really important to me that it's not lost in a plethora of information. I think we want to make sure that women truly understand what their rights are, women and men truly understand what their rights are, and how we deliver that message. I think we'll continue to work with those in the business community to figure out what's the best delivery method for them.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Would you like to close?
I respectfully request an aye vote.
It is out on an A roll call vote. Thank you, Ms. Burke. Mr. Cooley. Which bill will you be presenting on? 2249. It is a suspense candidate.
Yes, suspense
At your
candidate. Yes, indeed. Colleagues, I'm pleased to present AB 2249. This is a very important bill, I think, for California, for the preservation of our heritage. You know, the writer of Ecclesiastes says there's nothing new under the sun. Regrettably, under the law, we often encounter new things. Here in California, we've had the remarkable occurrence of a concessionaire in our Global Heritage National Park of Yosemite decide that the fact that they had a contract of concession entitled them to file trademark claims for such notable names as Yosemite National Park, the Ahwahnee Hotel, Curry Village, Badger Ski Pass, Wawona Hotel, and having filed those claims, leveraged that into the exclusive use of those titles such that on March 1st of this year, all of these iconic sites known around the globe, a part of every Californian's heritage growing up who's ever traveled to Yosemite, those names have now been changed. It becomes a challenge for how do you get leverage on this federal controversy under trademark law. This bill will allow us to do that. It says that in California, in our own parks, one cannot engage in trademarking on the bare fact of a concessions contract, that would disqualify you from running a concession, that it's an incompatible activity in a state park to do this sort of thing, The object of this bill is to move it through the process, and within the next month I will be sending letters inviting every parks chairman in every state in the union to adopt a similar Heritage Protection Act for their state to avoid the occurrence of this sort of thing, to encourage concessionaires who want to be in this business to focus on making their money on the concessions contract, not by leveraging trademark. That basically such trademarking is an incompatible activity for a trademark person. So this is the bill. It's an outstanding bill, but I would say I'm actually presenting the bill because I think the most important thing we can do to speedily return our iconic sites, the Ahwahnee, Curry Village, and others, is to move this bill along. So it is a suspense candidate. If I can induce the committee to consider letting me get it out today and just park it on suspense until such time as other bills come out. Time is of the essence, and I think movement of this bill gives all of us as California lawmakers greater leverage on this federal dispute. But I present it to you as a outstanding bill for our entire state, safeguarding these heritage sites. That's my presentation, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Collier. There are speakers in support. Speakers in opposition. Department of Finance.
No file.
Mr. Obolnoti.
Thank you, Madam Chair. It's a fantastic bill. I want to thank you for bringing it forward. Obviously, I'm a co-author. I wanted to point it out that Mr. Cooley has broad bipartisan support on this bill, and I think it's unconscionable that any private company would use this kind of tactic to get leverage on bidding for government contracts, and I think it sends a very important message, and I'm very supportive of the bill, and I would urge that we move it forward.
I do want to say I recognize this bill does contemplate the adoption of regulations. There is expense associated with it. But this is, as I say, sort of a case of first impression. There's something new under the sun. Who would have imagined that a concessionaire might use a contract of concession to start trademarking, and much less in Yosemite as compared to any place else? So I just think it is the normal course of government that we will have implementing regulations. They will have some expense associated with them. But as I say, I think this bill moving forward sends a strong signal that this sort of practice is unacceptable. It builds the foundation for the argument that other states should similarly adopt a Heritage Protection Act of this type, and that will send then a message to concessionaires that if you want to be in concessions, be in that business, don't be in the trademarking business, because other states, along with California, might view that as incompatible. And I think that is the quickest route to setting up the environment for getting this fixed. It's the old maxim that all of you will understand, that sometimes if you want someone to take off their tie, you need to raise the heat in the room. And that's what we're doing with this bill.
Thank you, Mr. Cooley, and we will be happy to move that forward to the suspense file.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Very good. Appreciate the opportunity to be here.
Mr. Frazier.